Hello, we are the trio. This is Kajana Ballard. This is Brennan Krummeyer.
This is O'Leary. Chris O'Leary.
Yes. And today we're going to be talking about three very good running backs. Here's Brennan with the first one.
Okay, this running back is Ezekiel Elliott. In the whole career, he had 592 attempts, 3,961 yards, and 43 touchdowns. And in 2015, he had 289 attempts, 1,821 yards, 23 touchdowns, and 80 long. In 2014, he had 273 attempts, 1,878 yards, 18 touchdowns. In 2013, he had 30 attempts, 262 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
That's very good. Yeah. Now this is Kajana James Ballard. And he's going to be talking about no other than Derrick Henry.
I'm going to start off with this 2013 highlights. He had 3 touchdowns. His yard lines are 382. And now I'm going to go to his 2014 ones. 11 touchdowns. Then his yards are now 990. Can you not believe that?
I can't.
Now let's move up one more year. 2015. He got a lot better last year. We got
This season.
Yeah, this season. Now his touchdowns are 74. And his yards now are 2,219.
There was a mistake. He did not have 74 touchdowns. He had 28 touchdowns.
Yes, 28. That was a mistake.
Correction.
Well, let's move on to...
We're moving on to Alex Collins. He 2016, not 16, but 13 stats. He had 119 attempts, 1,026 yards, 4 touchdowns, and his longest run was 55 yards that year. Just picture this. He was a freshman. Now, his sophomore year, 204 attempts, 1,100 yards. He had 12 touchdowns. And 84 was his longest. In 2015, wow, he's a complete dog out there.
Yes, he is.
He had 271 attempts for 1,577 yards, 20 touchdowns, and his longest was 80 yards. That's 20 to touchdown, 20 of their own to the touchdown. Now, so let's put that all together. He had 665 attempts, 3,703 yards with 36 touchdowns. That's good.
Do you think he's going to make it to the NFL?
Yeah, I think he's going to do pretty good. Now, we go to commercial break. And we're out. Okay, so we're talking about the football shop. We sell gloves. We sell helmets, shoulder pads, customized jerseys. You could ask my boy Brennan right here.
Yeah, it's cheaper than what you get at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, and we make it better. And we're back. Now, we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. 50. Super Bowl 50. The first Super Bowl without the Roman numerals. And here's Kajana with the turnovers during the Super Bowl.
I'm going to start off with Cam Newton about the Super Bowl, though. He made a lot of fumbles. He got smacked a lot. His defense wouldn't have protect him. His linemen wouldn't protect him. I mean, they could have at least won.
Yeah, it was a close game.
Yes, it was.
Not really.
Yeah, it was.
Because the Panthers only scored like twice, I think. Or once.
It doesn't matter. It was a close game.
Well, next year, we're going to see about that.
Yeah, how do you feel about those Broncos?
Well, they have a good defense. You know, Von Miller's the best linebacker on the Broncos. He's the one that, sacked or made 2 fumbles, I think. He made Cam Newton fumble twice.
And now, is that all you got to say? What about that, what about Peyton Manning? What you got to say about him?
But did he just retire a couple days ago?
Yeah, he did just retire, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
18th season. And his number was 18.
And he was the best quarterback for the Broncos.
Led him to the Super Bowl. Yeah. That was the lowest scoring Super Bowl. The least amount of yards ever. Won the least amount of yards ever.
Yes, it was.
Now let's talk about the Carolina Panthers. Their defense was doing pretty good. That's what I thought the defense was gonna pull out with Carolina being on top. But things happen. Peyton Manning had a couple good throws. They had a couple good rushing yards too. But it all comes down to who wanted more.
Yeah.
I think once Carolina during third, fourth quarter, they didn't want it as much as they did during the first and second quarter. I think Broncos just wanted it more than the Panthers.
But the Panthers O-line wanted block for Cam Newton.
I think they were blocking, but they weren't good enough at blocking to be able to block the Denver front line.
Mm-hmm. Or their linebackers. I mean, they let Von Miller crack.
He's an outside linebacker, so they have to block him anyways. So, let's talk about something. Cam Newton. His interview after the game, they said he was acting immature because he left. But wouldn't you want to leave too after you just lost a game that you've been waiting for your whole life?
Yup.
I thought so. Wouldn't you, Kajana? But Peyton Manning did it in 2007. No one said nothing about it. But once Cam Newton does it, they have to say something. And, and we're out. See you next time.
trio.